In this video, Kevin and I are going to be trying 5 brands of cornbread stuffing to try to see which one is the best of all 5. We have the Williams-Sonoma, the Trader Joe's, Pepperidge Farm, Great Value, which is Walmart, and Stovetop. There are other varieties to choose from, but we figured these would be the 5 most common brands that you will see. So I'm going to go ahead and give you prices. The Williams-Sonoma was $18.95. Trader Joe's was $4.49. Pepperidge Farm was $3 at Kroger. Great Value was 88 cents at Walmart. And Stovetop was $2 at Walmart. So the cheapest was the Great Value for 88 cents. The 2 most expensive were Williams-Sonoma and Trader Joe's, but the most expensive was definitely Williams-Sonoma. So the Pepperidge Farm you can either do on the stove or bake. We're going to bake it. You actually bake the Williams-Sonoma, you bake the Trader Joe's, and you bake the Pepperidge Farm. The Great Value and the Stovetop are literally done primarily on the stove, microwave, stuff like that. So the ones that we're going to focus on first are these 3 because these need to these take a long time in the oven. So do you want to go over the ingredients or do you want me to go over?
You can go.
Okay. So
sometimes they're a little hard to read, like in the Trader Joe's. But.
Okay, so the Williams-Sonoma, this one's nice because it tells you everything you're going to need in a line here. You need 3 tablespoons of olive oil, onion, celery, salt, ground pepper, this package, and 3 to 3.5 cups of turkey, chicken, or vegetable stock warm. For the Trader Joe's, they do not have it laid out, so you have to read in here what you need. You need water and butter for the Trader Joe's. You don't need anything else, do you? And then for the Pepperidge Farm, you're gonna want butter, onion, celery, chicken broth, and then this stuffing mix. We're going to actually be showing you and giving you the exact ingredients you're going to need, but those are the 3 we're going to start with first, and we'll be back once we get our onion cut up and our celery. So just wanted to show you our setup on the table with the 3 different stuffings. The Williams-Sonoma specifically said use a 9 by 13 inch pan, and it also said to use butter to grease the pan. So I actually used butter to grease the pan. The Pepperidge Farm and the Trader Joe's did not, they just said a casserole pan, right, Kev? Casserole pan. And they just said to grease the pan basically. So I used vegetable spray because it did not specifically say butter. And then all 3 of them have you get out a large bowl because this is where your stuffing is going to end up. You're going to end up mixing it up before you put it into your casserole dishes. So we're going to go ahead and show you, what these look like when you open. Yeah, because you're not doing anything with what comes with it right now.
Yeah, well, there's a couple that have seasoning packets. Right. So you're going to use that, but as far as the stuffing mix itself, you just add it to the bowl. Right.
So we figured we would look and see what it looks like.
Yeah. Looks like croutons. Literally.
Is that all that's in that box?
That's all that's in there.
Okay. So $18.95. There we go.
Look, smell that. It really doesn't even.
Oh, it has like no smell.
No smell, just bread. It's really just
yeah. There's no smell, so nothing's coming through. So that's your Williams-Sonoma. I do like how they're in big pieces. Mm-hmm. It reminds me Outback Steakhouse. The salads used to have big croutons, and they were awesome. Those were the best part of the Outback Steakhouse salad back in the day.
Yeah, some of these restaurants, I don't know why they don't sell that stuff separately, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so this one has a package of croutons, but it also has a seasoning packet.
And this is Trader Joe's.
Yeah, and making sure the seasoning packets is going to heat up in the pan.
Right.
So these are lightly colored. They're not as toasted as the Williams-Sonomas. No smell, really.
But you can see the difference.
big difference in color, isn't there?
Yes, and size.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, these might soften up quicker.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Pepperidge Farm,
and
I think it's just the...
You dump it. The Pepperidge Farm, this time of year, you see big displays, like big cardboard displays, and you can either get the cornbread dressing or there's another one too. It's
just
like
bread stuff.
Okay.
Okay, this is different texture completely.
Oh wow, it's more like meal, like
yeah, it's got a few
powder. Yeah, like what breadcrumbs.
Yeah, breadcrumbs.
That's what it looks like. It looks like breadcrumbs, like you would bread chicken with. I wonder if you could use that for breading and then fry it.
Maybe. So let me clean up my stuff and I'll take this stuff over to the stove and we'll start cooking them. Okay, so Williams-Sonoma, I'm gonna go through what you need. You need 1 yellow onion. That looks like a lot of onion to me, but I'm gonna use exactly what they said. So yellow onion, 3 stalks of celery diced. It's about a cup and just a little bit more. You need a half teaspoon of kosher salt, just pepper to taste basically, the package of cornbread stuffing mix, and you need 3 to 3.5 cups of turkey, chicken, or vegetable stock. This one is chicken stock. And did I say the olive oil? 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I didn't say that. So what I'm going to do to get started with that one, I'm just going to go ahead and get started with it, is you want to put in a saute pan of some kind, you want to put your olive oil. And I'm going to go ahead and just get it started basically as well, because it takes a little while. You're going to put your olive oil, your onions, your celery, and your salt and pepper in the saute pan and start getting them translucent to where they're cooking. The 3.5 cups of the chicken broth, you want to warm, so it has to be warm. It doesn't say hot, it just says warm. So we're going to put it in a saucepan and just heat it up so it'll be ready to go once I'm ready to put it to the dry mix. So let me heat the pan up for the onions and the celery. I'm just going to dump my onions in here. You can see my pan. I got a pan that was just big enough to hold the broth. So, you know, might want a little bit bigger one when you're heating it up. But you can put it in the microwave too. I mean, there's nothing saying you can't heat it up in the microwave. Okay, there's my onions. And we have the celery. Yeah, that is a lot of onions. Tammy said she uses a lot of onions in our dressing though, so...
I use probably 3/4 of an onion in our dressing.
Yeah, and this is just a whole onion, so.
And I also use celery in our dressing. The biggest difference I'm noticing is I use sage in our dressing, and I love it. It would not be the same.
Sage might be in that the croutons.
It might be.
Put my salt and pepper in there.
It just says savory herb seasoning. It says spices, onion powder, and garlic powder. It doesn't say what the spices are, so you don't know. But I will know if I taste sage or not. We both will, because we're so used to it.
Well, I just added just sprinkled the pepper, just to however much pepper you like, you know. I got some hunk of onion that didn't go, and it's chopped. It just didn't come apart. So I'm gonna let these cook up. And
it says about till
8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, soft and translucent.
Yeah. While this is going, I can start on my other one. So my Trader Joe's, and I just have to look at the directions. This one's the one you put 4 tablespoons of butter, 3.5 cups of water, and then the seasoning mix in a saucepan and bring it to a low boil for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, so I turn my water on and it's not boiling yet, or not hot yet. So I just plop my butter in there. I'll probably let that butter melt and then I'll add my seasoning pouch. So I'll come back and show you what the seasoning pouch looks like. Okay, so for the Pepperidge Farm one, what you need is 4 tablespoons of butter, a cup of diced onions, and a cup of celery. I just put them in one bowl. 2 cups of some kind of chicken broth. They say Swanson's, but just chicken broth. And then the package of the stuff. So what you need for this is you need a pan, just a saucepan. And we're gonna melt our butter in there. And we're also gonna put our onions and celery in there. So I can just go ahead and dump it all in there. And you wanna cook your onions and celery. And then we're gonna add the broth and bring it to a boil. So that's kind of the steps for this. Alright, so my butter's not completely melted for the Trader Joe's, but I'm going to go ahead and add my seasoning pouch and stir it in really good. And what you want to do is bring this to a low boil for 3 to 5 minutes. So this is the Pepperidge Farm. My onions are, it says tender crisp, so they're still a little, they're not quite translucent, but they're softer. So you're going to add your broth to this, and you're going to bring it to a boil. Okay, for Williams-Sonoma, we're ready to do the croutons. So my onions and stuff are really good and tender and translucent. My broth is warm, it's not boiling, it's just warm. So what you want to do is turn the heat off, add your onions and celery to your bowl. And this is why you needed a big bowl, because it's going to make a lot, it looks like. It says to add your broth like a half cup at a time. Basically just, you don't want to dump it all in there at one time. And let it just sit in the bottom. You want it to actually soak in. So that feels pretty good to me. It says take a piece of crouton and feel it. These feel pretty soft. There might be a few that are still a little crunchy, but I think they're okay. And you want to cover this. It says butter coated, but I'm just going to use cooking spray to spray the aluminum foil. Alright, so this is going to bake with the aluminum on it for 20 minutes, and then we back for this one. You basically take the aluminum off and bake it longer. So then we'll go to the next one. Okay, so the Trader Joe's has been boiling over here for like 5 or 6 minutes, and I'm just going to pour it over top. You definitely want a heat-proof bowl, because you wouldn't want to put that into something that's gonna, like a plastic bowl, because it's boiling. And then you just want to stir it up until it's really good and all the croutons are moistened. And you want all that seasoning to go to everything. And this is going to go into the casserole dish, get covered with aluminum foil, and it is going to bake for 35 to 45 minutes. And then you remove the foil for like 5 minutes during that last 5 minutes, just to let it brown. So basically 40 minutes and then uncovered for 5 minutes. Alright, so I'm going to get this one covered with aluminum, and then we'll do the Pepperidge Farm. It's ready to go too. Okay, so here's the Pepperidge Farm, and then I brought it to a boil, so it was just boiling. It cooked my vegetables really good. And again, just stir it up to where it's all absorbed. The liquid is all absorbed by the croutons, or in this case, the breadcrumbs. We were looking at the directions a little bit closer, and it's kind of like at the bottom where you wouldn't necessarily see it. It should have been under tips or something like that. It says for a crisper dressing or stuffing or whatever you want to call it, bake it uncovered. So we're going to actually bake this uncovered for the 35 minutes. So anyway, we're going to start getting them in the oven, and we'll just be back when they all come out. Okay, so while those are almost done, they got about another 10 or 15 minutes left. I'm gonna make the stovetop and the Great Value. So I'm gonna do the stovetop first. These are both made exactly the same way. You need 1.5 cups of water in a pan, and you need 4 tablespoons of butter. Exactly, I mean, both are the exact same thing. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our butter and our water on the stove, let them come to a boil, and then pour them into the stuffing mix and stir them up and let them sit. So I thought I would show you what these look like. So this is the stove top. Make sure my burner's not hot before I lay a box down on top of it. Okay, so there's some seasoning in there, some little small croutons, so you would think they would absorb pretty good. So that looks good. And then this is the Great Value. I can smell, I think I smell sage in that or rosemary, one of the two. Yeah, and so this is the Walmart brand. Great Value. The packages even look exactly the same for this though. They're probably made by the same people. I don't see the green seasoning in there like I did the other one. Maybe a little bit, but it doesn't have like that seasoning in there from the Great Value. So I've got my butter in here. I'm basically just going to put these on the stove and let them come to a boil, and then I'll be back to pour them into the bowls, let you see what they look like. Okay, so my first water and butter is boiling, like a really good solid boil. So I'm just going to add that to it. It technically says to put the stuffing mix into your pan and let it set, but it's so much easier just pour it in a bowl. It's just easier, and what are you're gonna have to move it to a bowl to serve it anyway. So just get it stirred in really good.
But you're not supposed to put it on the heat.
No.
Okay.
It says remove it from heat right after you dump it in there anyway. So it's like, what's the difference, you know? So that looks like it's pretty well soaked in there. So what you want to do is get a piece of aluminum foil, and you want to, let me put my other one, make sure it's boiling. You want to cover this with it just says cover. I'm going to cover with aluminum foil, and it has to set for 5 to 6 minutes just to kind of let it, I guess, settle in. Okay, so this water is now boiling for the Great Value one, water and butter. Again, it's the exact same thing, so it really didn't matter. And it actually says the same thing too. It says put the stuffing mix into the water and then remove it from the heat and then stir it and let it set. I mean, I'd rather do it in a bowl than in a pan. So stir it up really good, let it soak in a little bit. I've noticed these don't make as much as the other ones, but they smell pretty good. So I'm gonna cover this one up for, again, 5 or 6 minutes, and then you're supposed to fluff it with a fork. So I'll be back once the time's up. Okay, so these are out of the oven. There's the Williams-Sonoma, the Trader Joe's, very green by the way, and the Pepperidge Farm. By the way, the one that looks the best to me is the Pepperidge Farm one, just from out of the oven. Although the Williams-Sonoma looks really good too. The Trader Joe's just didn't get as brown because you only take the aluminum off for like the last 5 minutes. So maybe if you left it for 10 minutes in there without the aluminum, it would have browned up some more, but anyway, regardless. So this is the stovetop, and you're supposed to take this, and of course this is not gonna be brown at all, and you're just supposed to fluff it with a fork basically, and just loosen it up so it's not as dense and just stuck at the bottom. You can see, yeah, just kind of mix it up a little bit. And then the Great Value brand, we're supposed to do the same thing, moving all Tammy stuff around that she so neatly laid out. I'm gonna fluff it with a fork as well. All right, so I'm gonna go right here in the front and get the Williams-Sonoma one and get it a good spoonful. That's what it looks like. Good and hot. A little bit more in there. So that's that one. And then let me do the Trader Joe's. Looks really good. And then let me slide the back. And then we'll do the Pepperidge Farm. And then the stovetop. And then the great value.
So we're actually going to go and order a price. We're going to start with the great value.
We're going to go backwards.
We're going to go backwards. So the great values first. Do you want to hand me the box and we can talk about calories? How much did this one cost?
Hey, I think it was 88 cents.
Okay, so
yeah, 88 cents for this one.
There's 6 servings, so it'll be interesting to see how many servings are in the other ones.
Williams knows a lot more.
6 servings, and as prepared, it's 180 calories for.
That's with your butter.
Yes.
Literally, that's just with the butter.
Okay, so, and I, just so you know, have never had anything like this.
I might have when I was a kid, like when, I don't think Mom ever made it, but when a relative brought dressing or stuffing, it may have been something they brought. Very sagey.
It does, yeah. I think
and I really get the celery flavor in there too.
I definitely think they used sage.
Mm-hmm. And I can taste. There's little crunchy pieces of celery. I got to taste it.
I think you get onion in that.
Yeah.
Not
as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Oh no, I like it quite a bit.
It's actually really good.
You mainly get cornbread and you get sage and you get onion
and celery.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, not as bad as I thought. The texture's really good. I thought it was really. You don't like wet bread.
No. That's
not really a wet bread texture. It's wet, but it's not like wet, and soggy.
It's not like that spoon bread or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now this one also has 6 servings and it's 150 calories prepared.
And that was $2 at Walmart.
So it's fewer calories than the Walmart.
And a little bit more expensive.
It's yellower.
It is like a yellow. Maybe they used yellow cornmeal or something.
A little bit more.
Or maybe they used chicken stock of some kind, like the powdered chicken stock, to give a little bit more flavor.
That one does not taste like sage. Mm-hmm. That one tastes more like parsley. Turmeric. They used
that's what's yellow.
Rosemary.
I don't like that as well.
I don't either.
I like the Walmart one better.
Yes.
Save yourself $1.20 or $1.10 and get the Walmart.
Yeah, out of those two, if you're gonna make it, so that's a completely different way. That's the easy way of making cornbread stuffing.
Yeah, and we did it on the stovetop. You could have microwaved it too.
You could have microwaved it and made it probably even easier. Mm-hmm. But out of those two, since they're both cooked the same way,
yeah, I don't like the aftertaste of that stovetop.
Hands down, the great value, the Walmart brand wins for 88 cents. That's
if you like that celery, onion, sagey kind of flavor, that's better.
Yeah, it's
this
wonderful.
one just has some different seasonings that we don't traditionally use.
No, that it's not bad, but it's not what I'm looking for in the flavor when I'm looking for a traditional cornbread stuffing.
Right.
So now, next price
classic
was $3. $3 at Kroger. Toasted cornbread blended with select seasonings. This is 12 servings.
Right.
And it's only 110 calories.
But it's a half
for a half a cup.
This is half a cup too, is 110.
So you get a lot more. Do you know it says on here, our favorite stuffing stir-ins. You can use chorizo sausage, whole kernel corn, red and green peppers, Colby and Monterey Jack cheese. Boy, that would really change it, wouldn't it?
They also have directions on, these do not have directions for it, but I think in the other 3 have directions if you want to put it in the bird. Yeah, you can put it in the bird on all 3 of the rest of these. Okay, how much different is this going to be?
Pretty different.
Can't hit my mouth.
But I have an opinion. I'm very curious to hear Kevin's opinion.
I get the celery.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't get the onions, but Doesn't have any of that sagey.
It doesn't have
flavor.
a sage flavor.
It really doesn't have any seasoning flavor that I can really taste at all. Honestly.
No, it's very, very plain. It's very bland.
It's the seasoning. There's no spices really
For
coming
me,
through.
it's like they say in fried green tomatoes, the secret's in the sauce. For these cornbread stuffings, the secret's in the sage. It is, you need sage, salt, pepper. This, I don't even get any salt and pepper.
No.
And definitely don't get any sage. So I'm going to say something that's going to shock Kevin probably. I like the Great Value cooked on the stove more than that Pepperidge Farm.
I do too. I think I might like the texture of the Pepperidge Farm just slightly better.
I do too. I agree with you.
But not a lot better.
I like the texture because it's crisper on
Yeah.
top. However, the flavor is better in the Great Value.
Yeah. Really, I get more cornmeal-y kind of flavor with the Pepperidge Farm.
I agree.
It's all cornmeal and a little bit of celery is what I get.
No, I agree.
Huh.
Okay, now I'm terrified
Because that was
of
the
this
one. That was the one I really was looking forward to. 'Cause
I thought it
looked
was
the
going to
best.
be, yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm terrified of this one because it's so green. I don't know if that shows through the camera, but it's green.
It is pretty good.
Now this is, how much was this?
$4.49.
Okay, so we're going up in price. This is 12 servings, and it's 180 calories for a 12.
Yeah, but
112.
how much is the without just the dry half a
Just
cup?
the dry mix is 120
Okay,
calories, but
half
I
a
haven't
cup.
been given that.
I went back and said
Oh.
that because these were 110 for half a cup. That one's just like 10 more for half a cup. So it's
Okay.
really basically the same.
Okay.
But you have to add onions. No, this one we didn't add onions, did we? We added chicken stock to that.
We had, yeah, we didn't have to add hardly anything.
So it
to
was the
this one.
stock would have bumped it.
But I tell you what, as far as directions goes, this one I would say has the worst directions because all of the other ones give a list of ingredients you need.
What you need.
This one does not.
No, you have to actually read the directions.
You have to read in there. Okay, well now what did it say it needed? Because it doesn't have it listed
Yeah,
that
it
way.
doesn't. It's
So
weird.
Trader Joe's is known for their writers and having these like flamboyant, flourishy, flowery descriptions and stuff. They didn't do that on this. Okay.
I took a bite already.
It's okay.
The texture's a lot different.
Very different.
Because each little individual crouton is like a big hunk of breadstick. I mean, like a big piece of bread.
It's much heartier filling. It's denser filling.
I'll tell you the difference.
I like it quite a bit.
That seems more like a bread stuffing than a cornbread stuffing. It says
And
cornbread. I'll
it's
double
cornbread,
check.
yeah.
But there's not that mealy kind of texture, the cornmeal texture. It's more hunks of bread.
I love
I love the flavor though. The flavor is very good. It's very sagey.
You think?
I got a lot of sage.
You think? I think I mainly am pulling. I don't know. I'm tasting parsley. I'm tasting
You don't get the sage from them?
a little.
I get onions.
A little.
Get a little celery. The celery flavor's coming through.
I really do like how it's almost like each little crouton,
This is the
Puffed
little bite.
up.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
its own little bite.
but it's very hearty.
It's good. I like it.
I like that quite a bit. I think it's more parsley than sage.
It may be, but I
really
still
do.
get sage from it.
I think that so far the Great Values had the strongest sage flavor, but I'm shocked that I feel that I really do like that texture of the Trader Joe's.
Yeah, I do too.
It's nice. Okay, now the cream of
definitely
the
a
crop.
stronger sage flavor. Yeah,
The
$18.95.
William Sonoma it says 5 servings,
What?
but it's 2 cups.
Oh,
It's
so,
2 cups.
Yeah, these are all half cups.
Yeah, so really you can't go by that because
So if you took that times 4,
yeah, it's 300.
that's 20 servings if you're half cup serving.
It's yeah. So that's what you need to.
And that's
so,
on par with all the rest of them.
Yeah, so 390 calories for 2 whole cups.
Yeah, so you have to divide.
Who's
So right
eating 2 cups?
at 100 calories per half cup.
Actually, I probably do eat 2
That's
cups.
probably
at
about a
least.
serving right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, here we go. William Sonoma.
Yeah, is it $18 stuffing or $19 stuffing? Really?
It was $19.
Yeah. Okay.
I think as far as texture goes, this reminds me most of mine.
It has
my homemade
cornbread texture.
Yes, it reminds me most of my homemade.
You know what's surprising though? I do like, it does have like that toasted cornbread kind of flavor. So it's a crisper kind of cornbread before you made it.
Right.
I'm missing the seasonings again. It's similar to the Pepperidge Farm, is I'm missing some of the seasonings aren't there.
I do get sage in that.
I get a little bit, but not as much as like the Walmart or even the Trader Joe's one.
I'm tasting it. I tasted more parsley in the Trader Joe's. So for me, the Williams-Sonoma has more sage flavor than the Trader Joe's. I'm honestly surprised it's not crisper. When I make mine homemade, I think the biggest difference between mine and all of these is mine gets crisper. I use, of course, the recipes on YouTube. If you want to look up, I call it, I don't call it stuffing, I call it dressing.
It is dressing because we're not stuffing it in anything.
Yeah, stuffing to us is stuffing it into the bird. Then you can call it stuffing. If it's just in a casserole pan like these, it's dressing. That's how we do it. I use the cornbread. I use turkey juice,
which is
sage, salt, pepper. Basically, that's all I use.
Onion and celery.
Onion and celery, but it does get crisper.
Well, but these were, take another bite of that after you've had that.
Okay.
The only one that was uncovered the entire time was the Pepperidge Farm, and it does have a little bit more of a crispy topping. So I would think you could you could probably have left all these uncovered, the baked ones. You could have left all three of those uncovered and it would have got crisper on top. Isn't that so much better flavor-wise? It's got seasonings to it. It's got some spices to it.
This has been very eye-opening because...
No way. Now you got to go back.
Oh, to the Great Value.
To the Great Value.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
It's not as good, I don't think. But the seasonings are still good. Yeah, it's just the texture is the only difference between the Great Value and the Trader Joe's.
Okay, I have an order. I don't think my order is going to be the same as Kevin's, but I do
have
it.
It'll be close.
It'll probably be close, but I don't think.
Well, Trader Joe's is going to be the one.
Trader Joe's gets first place.
It's number one, and that was just chicken broth and butter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's just water.
Water, and this one had butter, I think.
Yeah, water and butter. Okay.
Seasoning pouch.
And it has
this one has a seasoning pouch.
It had the seasoning. That's right.
So,
but there's no turkey broth or chicken broth, so you don't have to buy that. It's just water and butter.
Okay, so the number one place for both of us is Trader Joe's.
Yep.
My number two, though, is going to be the Williams-Sonoma. I really like the Williams-Sonoma.
I just didn't get any seasoning from that.
And then my number three is going to be Great Value. My number four will be Pepperidge Farm. And last place will be Stovetop.
Because of the seasonings, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you were raised on stovetop and you were used to those seasonings, you might really like that. But for us, it's just not what we use.
No.
It's funny how all the other ones are similar seasoned except for the one stovetop one.
I feel like, excuse me, I feel like I was probably spoiled that a lot of parents probably took shortcuts, and there's nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
If you were raised on stovetop. But I was
after making Thanksgiving dinner for years, it's
trust
more
us,
shortcuts the better.
Yeah, we understand. However, I wasn't raised on stovetop, and I'm spoiled for the homemade, and so I still like mine.
Oh yeah, I would still make homemade.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to figure out from this, doing this review. Would I want to replace my homemade with any of these? And I honestly would not.
You could though. With the Trader Joe's.
You could with the Trader Joe's though. I really do like the flavor of the Trader Joe's. So you would actually put Great Value for number two?
Probably.
And it was 88 cents. Mind-boggling.
It's not as many servings though, so you'd have to buy more of it. You'd have to buy a couple packages of it to actually serve more people.
Get that box. Our top three. Here you go. Top three.
The Williams Sonoma, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know that it would go in your top 3?
It's too expensive for what you, it would be in my top 3, but I still think it's too expensive.
Okay, well that's what I'm wondering. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out if it's going to be in your top 3.
No, it'll be my number 3 flavorless. It will be my number 3. However, I don't think it's worth $19.
Oh no, it's not. Definitely not worth $19.
No, there's not enough there, and like I said, I really didn't even get any flavor.
I could make you homemade. I could make you several pans
for $20.
I mean, yeah, for not near that.
If you use chicken stock instead of baking a whole turkey.
Yeah, but usually when you bake a turkey,
yeah.
I get out pitchers of turkey juice, and so I could make probably, out of what I get, I could probably make 3 pans.
Probably.
And it's not, and cornbread's cheap. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, this has been a huge surprise to me because I'll be honest, when we were doing this,
I 100% thought that was
I thought the Pepperidge Farm was going to be the favorite, and
it doesn't have any seasonings to it.
It's 4th place.
Yeah.
So
if you added your own seasonings to it, it might bump it up some. You'd have to add your own sage and stuff to it, but yeah, as it stands, no.
And cornbread, I know they make cornbread stuffing or bread stuffing. I was raised on cornbread stuffing. I make cornbread stuffing, so I was interested in the cornbread stuffing. Not really interested in the bread stuffing just because I don't like soggy bread. And so really that just holds no interest to me. But I'm hoping this helps some people out. It would be interesting to take a poll to see who uses cornbread stuffing, who uses bread stuffing. Do you use any of these?
Might be a would you rather question for the month.
Yeah, well, that would be a good one for
would you rather eat
cornbread stuffing or bread stuffing? Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.